Hey, welcome to Spilling the IT. I'm Paul Burke, and that is Adam Burke, and we are a couple gentlemen from Quest Technology Management. I'm the social. I handle the social media. Adam Burke is VP of Sales, and Spilling the IT is a chance for us to get together, share what's happening in the tech space, answer questions that you might have about what's happening in the Quest space and tech space, and realize music that works for our show and doesn't. Anyways, long intro. Adam, how you doing?
Good, good. Yeah, the intro music could use some work. It's a little light, little music-y. Kind of feels like I'm heading to a doctor's appointment, and standing in an elevator uncomfortably with someone I don't know. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of not the vibe we're going for on the intro. But it's all right. We work on it. Work
We
in
want people.
progress. Always forward.
We want
Ever
people
forward,
comfortable.
Paul.
Never what?
Never stop. Always keep moving forward.
Ever
Yeah.
forward.
So
Never reverse. I think that's probably the motto of Fast and the Furious.
sure. Yeah,
Sure,
that could be it. That could be it.
sure,
Yep.
sure.
Absolutely. How are you doing?
What an opportunity to sit here. um, I'm great. It's been a good weekend. Well, week and weekend. It was a good weekend and good week so far. And yeah, I'm excited. So we were talking earlier this week about what topics are kind of worth diving into, and realized, oh, you know what's a big topic? 2020.
It's been a bit of a turn. Been some changes. We haven't really addressed too much of it. We started this whole thing during being locked down, pandemic, COVID, all the craziness going on. So as we were kind of brainstorming earlier this week, it was like, hey, why don't we just kind of chat a little bit about what we're seeing change, based specifically on what's been happening in our world right now. So I thought that would
Mhm.
be a good thing to cover.
And I thought it was such a great topic when you suggested. I was like, oh yeah, we've been doing this for weeks, and we never once yet sat down to talk about, hey, 2020. There's been tons of changes. Why not kind of dive into them? So, any order you would like to, Adam, or which one would you like me to dive into?
No, whichever one you got there. Let's just kind of go through it. I think in general we've seen a lot of things evolve rapidly, with everything changing in the world and how everyone's been dealing with it. Um, and you turn on the news, you turn on uh, everyone's different opinions about all sorts of things, and definitely don't want this topic to be, and what we're chatting about today, to be focused in any way negative. There's definitely been some changes. There's always changes in the IT space. So what I want to make sure we're focusing on with our partners and with our community that we're building is the positive nature of how organizations have successfully responded and are dealing with it, and the opportunities that are being presented for improvement. All sorts of different portions of organizations, businesses, and operations have been impacted, but it's not all doom and gloom. A lot of things that were under the surface that needed to be addressed have been addressed and are being addressed and are being highlighted, and that's a good thing. It can hurt a little bit, but it's also a good thing.
So, taking that into account, why don't we start right here with the world going everything as a service growth? So, there has been a huge explosion in everything as a service. Do you kind of want to dive in and talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so everything as a service. People talk about consumption IT, consuming bits and bytes of things at a time rather than buying, investing in large chunks. Rewind the clock a little bit. People used to go out and buy lots of servers at once, do hardware upgrades, refresh cycles, all that type of stuff. 3 to 5 years, you go spend a bunch of money, and then you depreciate that asset over time. What's changed in the IT landscape, and what's been exciting, and what 2020 has definitely accelerated in everything, is this idea that the per user cost model, the per employee cost, the per asset cost on a subscription basis. So think Netflix for your IT services, right? Not only are you going to subscribe to, Salesforce.com or any type of a SaaS application, software as a service, but people are subscribing to phone systems. People are subscribing to ability to share content. People are subscribing to things like we're on right now, right? Video conferencing, subscribing to all different aspects of their business that used to be, hardware intensive, software intensive, licensing intensive. All these things are now operational expenses, part of the business. It's exciting because, we joke about, I had a client that we have a service that's called QuestFlex. And it's the idea of, and we've been doing this for longer than I've been at the company. So more than 10 years. Tim put it together back during the initial financial crisis, 2007, 2008 timeframe. And it was the idea of delivering a capability as a service. So the as a service model. And jokingly, we had a partner actually out of the Phoenix area who we helped with a large server upgrade. He was starting his managed services practice, and it was a 5-year contract. We were providing the servers as a service. It was a bunch of Cisco UCS, and he jokingly asked me one day, he's like, "Hey, we're moving offices. We have some door locks and some video surveillance, and we have some cubicles. You guys wouldn't put that in the contract too, would you?" And I said, "Well, send me the invoices. Let me know what it looks like." And so we, do we sell Microsoft? Do we sell Cisco? Do we amortize all sorts of different kinds of technologies? Yes. But I've also put together a 5-year service level agreement that included door locks, cubicles, and I think maybe there was even a trash can or two in there too. So, hey, this isn't anything new for Quest. We've been doing this for a long time. The as a service model. It can be communications. It can be whatever. But it's cool to see people taking advantage of the as a service models that are out there.
So next time you're talking to us at Quest, just ask. You don't know. We might be able to throw that in. And
well, the would you could you conversations are always great because that's where you get to have the dialogue about, hey, would you guys, can we work on a package here? Can we do something different? That's the way you build relationships. That's the way you understand what your clients are trying to do is you get them to trust you enough to have that would you, could you conversation around putting a service together. So.
Nice. And I think it's similar to what you mentioned when you mentioned Netflix earlier, that rarely does somebody just stop with Netflix. They might have Netflix and Disney Plus or HBO Max or Hulu, and that people need different services and usually have more than one. So I think it's interesting. I mean, for instance, I have a subscription service that it's such a very specific, very niche. It just allows me to text people in groups or individually from my desktop. It does such a good job doing that. So I do think it's interesting how different companies have gotten so good at one specific or just a small handful of specific things. And you can get a subscription to that. And then also you can talk to us and we can kind of help put all of that together for you.
Yeah. No, there's the as a service model. It's amazing how many people are bolting additional services on. You have a subscription for, like you just said, like text communication, right? Mm-hmm. All sorts of different ways to communicate, and it's all subscription based. Like just 5 years ago, the amount of infrastructure and licensing and software that you would have to purchase in order to do what we're doing right now, millions of dollars. I mean, millions of dollars in order to capture this video. Think about it. We're capturing video, we're capturing audio at the same time. We're broadcasting it to multiple different platforms at the same time. And it's all as a service. It's pretty amazing the rate of change and the evolution that's happening very, very quickly.
The other topic you mentioned, which I thought was fantastic, is the tech talent shortage. Do you want to dive into that?
Yeah, this one, I think I think they're related, really. The idea of the explosion of as a service options, but at the same time, the tech shortage in skilled labor and staff. And I think it's because there's such a demand for people out there who can help in things like cybersecurity, infrastructure, networking, and all the different layers that go into delivering as a service capabilities. People are used to it now. Like consumers are used to it now. I mean, imagine, not having your email up for a couple minutes or not having access to your critical applications. There's just no tolerance for it anymore. And since there's no tolerance for downtime or outages or things like that from as a service standpoint, the ability to execute and deliver on that is in super high demand. So we're seeing, we run staffing within our company. We run services within our company. Obviously, we run managed services and professional services. So we do the ongoing support with our team, our great team of security and network and service engineers. And then we also do, deployments. So helping people build, operate, and transfer things onto their management. But there's still a ton of demand out there for good people who can help deliver. And we've had to come up with creative ways. One of them that's stuck and has grown exponentially in 2020 that we're talking, 2020 right now, has been our technical on-call support. We call it a TOC solution. So technical on-call support is really the idea that at any given time, you might need a certain resource or a certain skill set to help you with a given project or a given task. It could be anything from basic rack and stack on-site support, with some, level one services, all the way up to SQL DBA administrative help, or, help like with a CCIE or a senior network engineer or a security professional, and everything in between. It gives clients and our clients the ability to have that on-demand access to schedule out those resources when they need them and where they need them. Right. That's really important. I was on a call today. Organization was basically saying, hey, we have 30 sites all over the Southwest. We don't have the ability to dispatch people. We have some liabilities around COVID, and we can't necessarily get people into different regions. So they were looking for help with on-site as a service dispatch to help them get through some of that. So, ideas about, that flexible service offering around technical on-call support, it gives them that ability to get people where they need them when they need them. And we do it remote as well. So it's it's the ability to kind of address that talent gap that sometimes can come up. We're seeing a lot of it unfortunately in the security space, but it's across the board. It's just hard to find people to help in the disciplines that we support.
I think when you mentioned ideas, you mentioned like, oh, it's an idea. So that's exploded in 2020.
Oh yeah. That we probably have over 600 new clients that are leveraging our technical on-call support, and we've been investing heavily. Tim kind of saw this coming about 4 years ago, and has been investing heavily in the ability to scale and support that. So we have. Yeah.
No, just quick follow-up. He saw the tech shortage coming, not everything else that happened in 2020.
No.
Got it.
No.
Okay.
No one saw that one coming.
No,
Yeah. No, those.
But the tech shortage.
Yeah, the tech shortage, the compression of talent, consolidation of a lot of different things. I mean, there's like we just talked about it again, not to beat it down too much, but the amount of investment that took to just support the call that we're on right now is an amazing amount of talent that had to go into coding this, scripting out all the different anomalies that could happen, building the platforms, hosting the platforms, building the facilities that can host the platforms. I mean, all of that labor goes into that. It doesn't just happen. A lot of people in the consumer space think that Disney Plus, you can watch Baby Yoda sip coffee, and that kind of stuff just happens, right? And stream across it, watch on your cell phone.
Also,
Um,
common misconception, it's not Baby Yoda, it's called the child. So if you're gonna make references at him, make sure they're accurate.
okay. So the child
Hmm.
just sitting there, really cute, drinking coffee.
Hmm.
It doesn't, that kind of stuff. The amount of technical talent and technical investment that went into that making that happen is is huge, and people are just kind of expecting that. And when
And
you
look
expect that level of performance, you got to keep it up.
and look at the on-call help I just gave you to know what to call the creature.
I like Baby Yoda better.
Well,
I think when I reference, I think when I, if I said the child,
mhm,
like in common non Star Wars geek,
mhm.
surroundings, not that there's anything wrong with being a Star Wars geek.
I feel like
Um,
it's a real
if
shot
you
at him.
said
It's a
baby,
real
I
shot.
guarantee you say Baby Yoda or you
Mhm.
say the child, you're going to have different feedback.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, Baby Yoda makes sense, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
if you want to, I get it. Baby Yoda makes a lot of sense. Adam, question for you. Actually, no, I didn't have a question for you. I didn't have a question for you. I'm so used to
Fantastic
saying, I have a
segue.
question.
You're getting better at this.
Yeah, this is the best I've done so far. Um, I do think it's interesting. Well, I did want to ask you, do you think is there going to be enough tech talent per se that comes along that it's going to pivot backwards? Or do you think all the customers we've served and helped like the setup and that not having to have the tech, but have it available when they need it? Do you think it's ever going to change, or it's pretty much the horse is out of the barn and
I,
it's probably going to stay this way?
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely changed. I think there's definitely been a shift. These things come in waves. They come in cycles, so there'll be a large ramp up into the as a service and the technical support, and having the on demand labor, and that I don't think that's ever going to go away. I think the levels of where that technical talent is going to be required, and what people are going to be trained up on, and where we're going to see people invest. Like, right now everyone's, a lot of people are getting trained up on security, and because there's a known gap in the security space, from a technical talent standpoint. But the market, fools a lot of people, and it typically evolves faster than the talent, catches up with it, right? So you got the imitators. What is it? You got the innovators, you got the imitators, and you got the idiots, right? So the goal is, maybe you're not the innovator, but don't be the idiot, chasing the trend too late. So something's going to shift. People are going to move. Things are going to transition. I don't think the on-demand labor category will ever change. I
Hmm.
think what makes up that category will certainly change, and
Hmm.
what's being demanded will absolutely evolve, with the market. So I don't wouldn't pretend to have a crystal ball of what that's going to be, but I definitely know that 6 to 8 months from now, it'll be a different skill set and a different request. What we're always focused on is maintaining the ability to flow with that, right?
Hmm.
And keeping the building blocks in place that help us transition and move with the market as it's going. We're not necessarily Wayne Gretzky ending up where the puck's going to be,
Hmm.
but at least having visibility of that is what we're always trying to do. Constantly course correcting there.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I don't have a crystal ball either. However, transition, I do have another topic for us to discuss.
Nice. Nice.
Smooth. Ransomware threats,
Yeah.
which have
Yeah.
exploded in 2020. If you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so everyone started to go work from home, right? You had all sorts of remote connections. Everyone was trying to figure out how to support their workforce remotely. We've talked a little bit about this before, but um, you have all sorts of people supporting their environments remotely. You have, organizations trying to keep everyone connected to core applications. At the same time, you have bad actors who now have a way to exploit and extort money by stealing people's data, encrypting it, and basically saying, "Hey, we're taking this from you until you pay us money in Bitcoin, and we'll give it back maybe. We're seeing that explode a ton. And like we were just talking about, you have a text service on your desktop. People are sending malicious code and packets through email and launching these exploits that basically start calling home and grabbing more data and exploiting further across that environment. We run an incident response and an incident containment team. This week has been incredibly active for them. We've seen a lot about it. A lot of things have been happening. People continue to click the link. Don't click the link. Don't click the link. If you're watching this right now and you see something that looks too good to be true, like, hey, you just won blah, 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 or hey, here's your new commission statement from a vendor that you don't really know. If you're not expecting it, you don't trust the sender, don't click the link. We've seen multi-million-dollar incidents happen and people being held for millions of dollars in ransom that we're having to go in and rebuild them from one or two backups that hopefully those didn't get corrupted. So ransomware is exploding. It's a business model now. It's organized crime. These guys and people take it very, very seriously. They're not just going to oh yeah, no, you can have your data back. No, they're going to extort you and they're going to keep trying to evolve to do that. One of the things we've helped people and we're trying to go out to market like, hey, take this seriously is an immutable storage option where you basically have a copy of your data in an off-net fashion that's segregated from the rest of your network, because the bad actors are getting smarter. They're learning more and more about targeting organizations' backups. So having immutable copies of your storage, having things that are read once or write once and it just stays and it's not accessible anymore, very, very critical to a strategy. And then we also put together, we're trying to help, because most of the incidents that we see in ransomware, they happen in a couple different what the folks call like attack vectors, if you will. The endpoint, email, and on browsers. So the idea of putting together a way to help with that, we've put together some solutions around that where we help protect the endpoint, the email, and people at the browser level. So we're trying to tell folks, hey, that's where we're seeing people get hit. If you need help getting those three areas squared away and correct, give us a call. That's definitely something we do. But yeah, ransomware and cyber threats have absolutely exploded. And back to our previous 2 points, the lack of
Bring it home, Adam.
talent. Bring it home.
Wrap all these bad boys up.
Yeah. So,
package it all in one beautiful statement that answers everything.
Well, was it 42, 47?
42.
What's the number?
42.
Is that answered everything? Okay, 42.
I think Baby Yoda said that.
Baby Yoda said that in the
Mandalorian? Funny, a lot of goo goo gagas, and then just 42.
Got it. Yep. In the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Atmosphere, right? Did I get that right?
Yeah, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Mandalorian. Great.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Mandalorian. Bring it all
Great
together. Need more sleep. No,
I need less.
Anyways, the as a service tie in tons and tons of different points of presence together. The lack of of talent to go around and help secure all those endpoints, and then everybody working from home and going remote in 2020. That's kind of all led to a perfect storm for organized crime and people that want to extort businesses that are in compromised position can do that. So that's those they're not unrelated topics in the year of 2020. They're all part of the same story. But the cool thing is, and we kind of didn't want to be Debbie Downer here, is there are ways to address it. There are ways to prevent it, and when it does happen, to limit the impact to organizations. But that's what's so exciting about being in technology right now. Not to whistle past the graveyard or anything like that, but there are a ton of opportunities out there to help people with these challenges. And that's any one of our partners, any one of our clients that's in the technology space. There's so much work to do right now. If you can help execute, if you can help deliver, and you make yourself available to the marketplace, there's definitely not a lack of opportunity right now.
And
for sure.
Real quick, I know we're coming up on a half an hour, so I want to respect your time, everybody else's time. If you need help, you can always reach us at 800-326-4220, or just go to questsys.com. It's questsys.com. Also, you don't even need to hire us. On questsys.com, there's tons of free complimentary information. It's a real great resource. We hope it helps you. Adam, final thing. What are you watching?
I'm not watching too much TV right now. I kind of took a hiatus from TV. I think there's a lot of garbage out there right now, and I just I'm reading a little bit, hanging out with the kiddos, and just taking it easy. So not doing the TV thing right now.
Well, that's good for you, Adam. I, however, am watching trash, and I will share with you the show that I'm currently watching on Netflix. I believe it's called, oh boy, I think it's called Murderous Affairs, Justice Served. The worst. It's the worst.
That sounds like a positive consciousness kind of thing. That just take it from the internet and just morph it into your head.
It is,
just bask in the glory.
Depending on how you view it. Now I watch it, and as I'm watching it, I'm like, anybody can make it as an actor. This is proof. It is the worst. Reenactments. It is delightful how bad they are. It is somebody sipping coffee, staring at their wife or husband menacingly. So bad.
With a voiceover? Did the voiceover thing?
It's the classics. All the voiceovers, all the reenactments. It is a little dark. It is a lot about murder. It's all about murder. So if that bothers you, don't watch it. But if you're in it for a good laugh, in that the reenactments are horrible, delightful. Content, horrible.
Got it.
But delightful reenactments. Anyways.
Appreciate it. Appreciate that clarification. That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Hey, everybody. This has been Spilling the IT. I ask questions. Adam's very smart and answers them. Anything else, Adam?
No. Just I hope everyone has a great weekend. And like Paul said, if you ever need any help or want to have a would you could you conversation, we definitely like getting involved in the complex. And we can certainly help out in different areas. So appreciate it. And, next week we'll talk about, not sure what we're talking about next week, but maybe we'll have a guest on or something. We had the man, the myth, the legend, Tim Burke on last Friday. So I know I talked a lot last week. I was killing it.
I wasn't going to say anything. Adam, you pick your spots. You pick your spots to drop wisdom. And that's what you did last week.
I think I nodded 3 times and said, yep. And that was my contribution. My wife was like, why were you sitting there? I'm like, I don't know. I was not adding anything to that.
Well, this week added a ton. So look at that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend.
All right. See you guys later.
See you guys later.